You're listening to the official podcast of Bloodstock Open Air Festival. Bloodstock Radio.
Yes, hello, good evening and welcome to Bloodstock Radio podcast number 79. We are the official podcast of the Bloodstock Open Air Festival, and our 19th festival will be taking place exactly 4 weeks today. And we'll feature the band that we opened the show with there. Thy Art Is Murder are going to be on the main stage on the Saturday, and that was a song called Make America Hate Again, taken from their forthcoming album Human Target, which is due to be released on July 26th on Nuclear Blast Records. So we are indeed somehow just 4 weeks away from Bloodstock Festival 2019 now, and I hope that you are all just as excited as we are. We did sadly have some bad news yesterday in that Code Orange have unfortunately cancelled their European tour and will therefore not be at Bloodstock this year, so keep your eyes on the socials for their replacement. But we still have an absolutely stellar lineup for you all, so we hope to see you all there. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, VIPs have now sold out, but we do still have standard weekend tickets and day tickets available in limited numbers, so get yours soon via the Bloodstock website. Okay, for the rest of tonight's show, we're going to be focusing on our Metal to the Masses tour, which draws to a close this Saturday night down at the Bridgewater Town Hall in Somerset. So we now have 30 winning bands, which means that I really need to get a move on if we're going to interview and bring you some music from every single one of them. So without further ado, let's hear from our winners from Oxford and Cheltenham, and then we'll have a couple more for you later on in the show. My name is Squatter, and this is Bloodstock Radio.
And now on Bloodstock Radio. A Bloodstock Metal to the Masses tour update.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we're having a chat to the next of our Metal to the Masses winners. And in Oxford, it was Burden of Hope, or Hopeful Burden, or Burden Hope, whatever sort of variety the Bloodstock website can come out with. It's Josh from The Hope Burden.
Hello.
How are you, sir? So yeah, I thought I'd have a bit of a play around with you there, because I know we messed up your band announcement and put the wrong band name in. So apologies on behalf of the website people for that.
Not a problem at all. It gave us a very good laugh, and it was probably the most hope burden thing that could have happened to us. So
yeah, absolutely. So The Hope Burden is the right name, folks. So make sure that you check that out. So yeah, so you guys won in Oxford eventually, and you didn't actually win in Oxford. So let's talk about that a little bit, because we had the most surreal experience. So if you can explain to our listeners what actually happened at the original Oxford final.
Yeah, so it was all going well. It was sold out venue, which was really, really cool. It was nice to see so many people turn up for a gig in Oxford. It was fantastic. And the band before us, it was their last song. The whole of High Street had a massive power cut. So we couldn't play, which was great. Bit of a shame, but, you know, these things do happen every now and again. So Simon kindly spoke to the guys over at Northampton and arranged for us and our mates in Crimson Tusk to go over there and play, because they didn't get to play, unfortunately, either. I ended up doing the final over there, which was really cool. It was the first time we played on an outside stage. It was blisteringly hot. It was about 32 degrees when we played at 1:30 in the afternoon. It was really cool. It was just a really, really good day. And it was a good experience. It sort of worked out quite nicely for us, because we got to play Northampton for the first time. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, cool. And obviously Simon chose you guys as the guy to go through. I know that's got to be a difficult. Obviously he's got to see all the bands play. Yeah, I think it was 3 that had already played in Oxford, and then he's stuck with the situation. And there was lots of people sort of saying, "Oh, well, can't you do it tomorrow? Can't you do it?" But obviously, the Metal to the Masses schedule is a very, very tight one. So I'm glad we managed to get it sorted out. So a big thanks to Sky over at Northampton for sorting that out.
Yeah, that was fantastic and really cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about the band then. How long have you guys been going for, and what type of music do you play?
It's best way to describe it, sort of atmospheric post-metal. We've really influenced by bands like Alcest, Devil Sold His Soul, Isis, The Elijah, Rosetta, bands, real big sounding bands. The guys started the band in 2015, and they were an instrumental band for a couple of years. I joined early 2017, I believe it was, because my last band was breaking up, and I've known Phil, our drummer, for as long as I can remember, really. He asked if I'd come along for a practice, give it a go, so I did, and it stuck out from there, and been making some miserable music ever since.
What's the Oxford scene like in general? Because I went to the Metal to the Masses final there a couple of years ago, and it's seen from what I can remember, it was quite a varied sort of lineup. There was a few rock bands in there, and a few sort of, obviously mixture of metal genres and that. But how do you find it? And it's a gigging band in that area.
Yeah, you're right. It is very, very. It's a very diverse lineup. They've got there's quite a few sort of stoner and doom bands around, which are really cool. There's a few other sort of sad boy bands like us we've got some friends, a band called Lestelle. They're very cool. There's a fair few hardcore bands as well. There was a band called Keyed Up who played in the final with us, a band called Misery. It's very, very varied. It's a difficult place to gig, Oxford, I'm honest, though, because quite a lot of the venues that we did have are owned by the universities, and they get closed down quite a lot. Yeah. So at the moment, for example, best example is us. We have only ever played at the Wheat Sheaf in Oxford. Actually, no, tell a lie. We played a venue called the Library once, but nearly all of our gigs have been at the Wheat Sheaf. We've got an O2 in the city. It's more of a place for covers bands to go, really.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of like Guns, Two Roses, and Oasis come through.
And we know how much we all love our covers bands.
Oh, don't we just?
Yes.
Bit of a shame, really. We don't get a lot of very big, heavy bands come through. But so when you do, it's a big deal. Like, for example, Comeback Kid are coming through Oxford next week, which is probably that's the first time in years I can remember a heavyish band coming through.
Yeah,
which is great. But I know a few other guys are starting to push a few more metal gigs in other venues as well. Like, we're booked in to play at the Bully later on this year, I think it's September, and there's a couple of other venues sort of coming up as well, which is hopefully it's on the up.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So tell us a little bit about the Metal to the Masses process then. Have you guys taken part in it before, or is this your first time, and why did you get involved?
We have taken part before. We took part 2017. It was actually my first gig with the Hope Burden was our opening Metal to the Masses heat, and it was for us it was a total shambles. Like, it was my first time actually singing in front of a crowd, not just making horrible shouting noises, which was a bit nerve-wracking. Our bassist, one of the strings broke. He didn't have a backup bass, so he ended up borrowing one, and he's left-handed, so we had to play a bass upside down. It was just all a bit of a shit show, really. So we sort of, after that, we didn't make it through the first heat, so we sort of regrouped. Took a year off, really, just to write the EP and get that all sorted. Then our friends at Two Face Promotions in Oxford, Sam and Nick, messaged us when they were starting to get Metal to the Masses rolling for this year, and we were the first band they came to because we said we didn't want to do it last year because of the EP and that. And we were like, yeah, go on, let's just do this, let's get some gigs. We honestly didn't think we were going to get this far. So yeah, it was really good. Every single gig we played was really cool. Always got a good reaction from everybody. It was just a really nice experience, and it sort of, we were like, okay, maybe we're not actually a terrible band.
Oh, that's good. It's always nice when it's a surprise to bands. I mean, I must say, most of the Metal to the Masses bands are fairly humble and fairly sort of, exactly the same as you. Just sort of like, holy hell, I don't believe we got that through. Yeah. All right, so you guys are going to be playing at Bloodstock Festival. Let's just say that again to let that sink in. Have you guys been to Bloodstock before? Are you punters that go?
We haven't been before. No, we've. For example, I've always gone download, because quite a lot of my friends and that aren't into the really, really heavy side of things. I've always wanted to go, so this is absolutely blinding for me. It's so cool.
And are there any bands that are playing over the weekend that you're looking forward to seeing and really hoping that you don't clash with?
Yes, I'm desperate to see Aborted. I've been wanting to see them since, for about 10 years now, and every single time they've come to the UK, I haven't had the chance to go see them, so that is a definite on my list. Really looking forward to seeing Cradle of Filth, just because I've been a fan of theirs for years, and I will always I just love them. Really good. Thy Art is Murder. Really looking forward to Thy Art is Murder as well.
Well, like I say, hopefully you should be okay with most of those and you don't clash too much. And the other thing to take note of as well is that obviously it's a smaller site than Download, so you'll bump into people all over the place. And
yeah,
I would say to all the Metal to the Masses bands, make sure that you make the most of your media day, because you only get one day's access the day that you're playing to get to the media tent. So make sure you try and book yourself some interviews and come and have a chat with some of the guys in there. And you might even bump into the likes of Danny Filth and the guys because they're usually milling around doing interviews themselves. So you can also find that might happen as well. So it's a good place to be.
That'd be so cool.
So yeah, well, we'll look forward to seeing you guys at Bloodstock. So we're going to hear some of your music now. So if you want to introduce that for us, and cheers for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so you're going to hear Decline off our EP, Decline, Despair, Decay, we put out last year. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, literally anywhere. Please give it a listen. It'd be fantastic to see a load of you at Bloodstock, so you can come get down with the frown.
Okay, next up, we are talking to the next of our Metal to the Masses winners, and over in Cheltenham, it was Grief Ritual. How you doing, guys?
Hey, man.
Okay, cool. So, yes, you guys are going to be playing at Bloodstock Festival. How is that sounding? Is it sinking in yet?
I think we've been quite a bit of shock still for a couple of days, haven't we?
Yeah. It's not quite sunk in. I think when we're there, it will, but until then, it'll still seem a bit like a dream, to be honest.
Yeah. Have you guys been to Bloodstock before, any of you, or you newbies?
We've not. This is our first time for all of us, so it's going to be quite a nice experience, actually, to see it from the other side of not just like a punter, to be honest. It's going to be great to be on stage and everything.
Yeah, what you'll find is that having spent some time at the New Blood stage and having interviewed a gazillion Metal to the Masses bands over the years, is that you do get that whole sort of rock star experience. It's literally like you put your gear down, you turn around, and someone set it up for you and things like that. Which is like bands at your level are just like what, just completely confused by that. That never happens.
Biggest show that we've ever done, so it's a real fill up for us to actually do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, the reason we do these chats is to try to get you guys out there and to try to get your music out there so that we can get you a nice full tent for the New Blood stage. So, tell us a little bit about Grief Ritual and tell us how long you guys have been going for and what type of music you play and things like that.
All right, so we've been going since probably about July, August last year. We've played about 20-odd shows since then, most of them this year. We're a heavy black and hardcore band. We've also got kind of post-metal influences. You'll be a fan of us if you like bands like Cult Leader, Conjurer, Converge, Leached, Full of Hell, Death Heaven, like Hexus, who are a band who played Bloodstock before, Harm's Way.
Okay, cool. Well, Conjurer was one that stood out to me there because obviously they're one of our poster boys. Also Metal to the Masses winners in the past as well, and they are doing great things at the moment. It has to be said.
Yeah, incredible band, Conjurer. Really incredible.
Really enjoy them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cracking. We just had our interview with them from last year's festival on Bloodstock TV. Just went out recently on the YouTube channel. I've known those guys since they first started, really, since they were up and coming, and the number of jaws I've seen drop when people see them for the first time, it's just kind of like, whoa. So, any connection to them is definitely going to go down well at Bloodstock. So, Metal to the Masses in Cheltenham is a new region for us this year. So, have you guys taken part in it before at all, or what was it that actually, got you attracted to it, and why did you enter it?
This is our first time, because obviously it's a new place for it to be held. So when it first got told it was going to be happening, we were more than happy to get involved, because obviously Bloodstock's a massive festival, and just to have the chance to play as a newer band with new bands, and also to get ourselves in front of people from other areas and different audiences is a great thing for us. It's a real boost as a growing band.
Well, brings a lot of metal to this town, which Ollie's been really, really trying to get through here. So it's quite a small town, really.
Yeah, but there's definitely a thriving scene.
There's a big metal scene. Yeah, we saw that. We literally saw that on Friday. There's so many people now.
And every show has been packed, I believe.
Yeah, it has.
The ones that we were able to attend, unfortunately we had to miss a couple because we had other shows, but they were all really well attended. All the other bands just completely slayed, so it's really, really good for us to obviously get through in front of with that kind of quality of band alongside us. So it's really nice. So you could see them growing there.
Yeah, so I was pleased to see it when I saw that it was announced Cheltenham, because I know Ollie and another Frog and Fiddle down there. I've been to a few gigs down there, mainly Reign of Fury ones, and I went to a birthday party there last year as well. My friend Ange had a 40th there, and I think Fury played and a couple of other bands. I'd live bands on then as well. So it's a cracking venue, the Frog and Fiddle, isn't it?
Yeah, Ollie's a great promoter as well. He puts in a lot of hard work, which often goes unsung, but he's a really good guy. So it's really great to see that he's supported the metal scene in the community by putting these shows and all the other shows he does as well.
Yeah, he's also a fellow Evertonian as well, which is also a big bonus in my book as well. So he also gets bonus points for that from me. Okay, cool. Well, are there any other bands that you're looking forward to seeing at Bloodstock over the weekend and that you're really, really hoping that you don't clash with?
Well, we're not clash with Cradle of Filth and Parkway Drive, are we? But
there's some really great bands. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing our friends in the Hope Burden on the New Blood stage as well. So that's great that they're playing. We're looking forward to Parkway Drive, Cradle of Filth, Rage and Speedhorn, Children of Bodom. There's a massive amount of bands there, so it's going to be amazing for us.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, well, it'll be great for you, especially as you guys haven't seen Bloodstock before as well. So I think you'll find that it's, a really sort of friendly place anyway. But obviously, with you guys playing there as well, it all depends on the way you want to spend your weekend, really, because depending on when you're playing, obviously, you want to make sure that you get your name out there, let people know when you're going to be playing and what time you're going to be on the New Blood stage and that. But then, once you're done, make sure that on the day that you're playing that you make the most of your press opportunities as well, because you get access to the press tent as well. So make sure that you try to get your name out there through that as well. And the one thing that I will say to you, especially as you're a relatively new band as well, and a lot of bands sort of almost fall into this trap a little bit where they're sort of thinking, Metal to the Masses, it's such a long road and we've just got there, but it almost feels like it's the end of the road, but that's not what Bloodstock is supposed to be all about. It's supposed to be a springboard to push you guys on. So you're going to have 15, 20,000 people there in a field that you are going to be on the bill for. So really, really maximise that opportunity.
Yeah, we really see it as like a good opportunity for ourselves. Obviously, as I say, we are quite a new band in terms of things, but we work quite hard and we try and play as many shows as possible. So it's really good to have this kind of big showcase event that we can potentially reach a brand new audience almost through, so it's great.
Yeah, and you'll also find that on the back of it as well, that you will now, as Metal to the Masses winners, next year when the events start kicking off and that, you'll be getting invited by other regions to come and guest headline at theirs and at their semi-finals and their finals and things like that as well. So it really does open a whole lot of doors for you as well.
That's great. That's cool.
Cool. So excellent. Well, that's all good. So, we look forward to seeing you guys at Bloodstock. So we're going to hear your track Recidivist now. So if one of you can introduce that for us, and we look forward to seeing you in August, guys.
Thank you. It's great.
Okay, this is Recidivist by us in Grief Ritual.
This is Matt Young from King Parrot, and you're listening to Bloodstock Radio.
Okay, so that was Grief Ritual, our Metal to the Masses winners in Cheltenham, with their song Recidivist from their debut EP Life is a Phase, and you can get that from their Bandcamp. That's at griefritualmusic.bandcamp.com, and it's one of those name your price ones, but as we always say, don't be a cheapskate and throw them a few quid if you can. And before that, we had the Hope Burden, the Oxford winners, who actually won in Northampton in the end. That song was called Decline, and they will be on the New Blood stage on the Friday, where they will be joined by the next Metal to the Masses winners we are hearing from. We've got our Newcastle winners Tomorrow is Lost, and then we will finish off the show with our North Wales winners Scars of Remembrance, and they're going to be playing on the New Blood stage on this Saturday. So let's hear from both of them, and we'll be back with you next time on Bloodstock Radio.
And now on Bloodstock Radio. A Metal to the Masses winners interview.
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we're talking to the next of our Metal to the Masses winners. And up in Newcastle, it was Tomorrow Is Lost. And we're talking to Cass. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you doing? You all right?
I am very well indeed. We are rapidly approaching Bloodstock now, so we've only got a few weeks to go. So we're all very excited, and I should imagine you guys are feeling pretty excited as well, yeah?
Oh, it's still pretty mental. I still can't believe it, me. Like,
yeah,
I'm well excited.
Well, it is a little bit like that for bands because obviously that's our commitment to the grassroots and that lot. And I don't know if any of you have been to Bloodstock before, but or spoken to any of the past winners or anything like that. But it is a real experience for you guys. You know, you get treated like proper rock stars. All your gear gets set up for you and everything, and it's over in a flash. Everyone says that, but you know, your half hour on the New Blood stage will go very quickly. But it will be a weekend to remember. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, without a doubt. Honestly, we're so excited, and I know I keep saying the same thing, but like I literally just cannot believe that we're going. It's going to be the most insane thing. So we're all proper buzzing.
Cool. So so tell us a little bit about Tomorrow Is Lost then. What type of music do you play, and how long have you guys been going for? How many are there? Things like that.
Yeah, so there's 5 of us. We've been going for around about 2 years now. It's like straight up, balls out, in your face rock music, and we kind of just sort of like found ourselves in this really sort of lucky and formidable position where we're playing all of these amazing events, and Bloodstock and New Blood stage is just going to be by far the best thing that we've played to date. And I think like it's just mental to think just how much we've managed to achieve in those 2 years. I suppose it's just about feeling extremely lucky to have been given all of those opportunities, and for everybody to keep sort of showing such an insane amount of belief in this band and what we're doing. So we're just extremely grateful for it all. Really grateful.
Well, you say that, but I mean, it's not. Bands get opportunities because they tend to earn them. You know, there's a lot of bands out there, so don't do yourself down too much. You know, you've won this on merit. You've done this because you deserve it, and you're getting given these opportunities. I mean, I get a lot from bands. Oh, you know, cheers for the support. I'm like, well, I only support you because you're good. You know, if you weren't good, I wouldn't be supporting you. So, you know, you're the one.
This is very true.
Yeah.
This is very true. And I mean, don't get us wrong, like there's such a lot of graft that goes into it, and we do work incredibly hard. And I mean, like last year for us was just like relentless. I mean, it was 365 days of like blood, sweat and tears last year, and obviously this year we're taking a little bit more time out to obviously record the album and stuff, because I suppose we sort of, we've done so well to have gotten so far with only one EP out. So we haven't really got a great deal of music out there for people to listen to, but we're sitting on a wealth of absolutely insane tracks now, which a lot of which we're going to try and cram into our 30 minutes on the New Blood stage. Yeah. But we're crazy excited about getting into the studio and getting them laid down for an early 2020 release. So it's all very exciting times.
Yeah, good. I mean, we have a wide range of genres that go through onto the New Blood stage, and I have to say that I reckon you probably benefited a little bit from Lisa judging it, because Lisa does like her classic rock. I know that much about her. She does our Rock Society, and you probably catered to her. I think
we probably did, and I think that was part of the shock factor, because I was like loitering by on the perimeter of the room practicing my gracious loser face, because there was so many of the bands on that night that absolutely like blew my mind. Like one of them, it was a band called Rituals, who were just absolutely insane, and I had a real soft spot for them when I seen them at the semi-finals, and then also at the finals again. They absolutely killed it. So to say it was a genuine shock would be a massive understatement. Like, it was a huge shock for us when we were announced to go through. So yeah, that's absolutely insane. I still can't believe it.
Yeah, well, obviously, we are a metal festival, but we do have some rock. But so you know, at Bloodstock, you guys will be in the minority, but you are still represented. You know, we have hard rock bands. We have a wide variety of bands. You know, we had Mr. Big on the main stage last year, for God's sake. You know?
Yeah. And I think, I think that in itself is sort of testament to the sort of variety and the diversity in the rock and metal communities, but particularly I think at a grassroots level. And for bands like us to be given an opportunity and a platform on a stage as massive as Bloodstock, it's just absolutely incredible. And an opportunity that certainly doesn't come around every day. Do you know what I mean? It's like once in a lifetime stuff for bands at our level. So it's going to be amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. And you might also benefit slightly. I'm not that I'm going to say that your show is going to be a soft show, because I'm sure it's a very energetic show. But obviously, we've got some quite extreme bands that are playing at Bloodstock this year. So it might just be that some people might just be a little bit of I tell you what, I could just do with some nice chilled out rock. You know,
a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
a little bit of a rest. Well, no, that's a little bit how we felt all the way through the competition. We were like a little bit like fish out of water, at various points, and we were thinking, oh my goodness, we're a little bit outward depth here, mind. Like, in terms of some of that music being like incredibly intense, and I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, the energy in the room for the finals for all of the bands, it was just absolutely just insane. Absolutely crazy it was. So I can only imagine that on a much greater scale, Bloodstock for the weekend is just going to be, it'll blow your mind, I've got no doubt. So
this is your chance to sort of big yourselves up. If someone was to wander into the New Blood tent and catch your show, what sort of a live show? We're going to hear some of your music at the end of the interview, the recorded interview, but what can they expect from your live show if they wandered in and Tomorrow Is Lost are playing on the New Blood?
It's a performance. And I know that's probably a bit of a cliche thing that you would hear from lots of bands, but I think for me, when you're on stage for that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and 15 or whatever it is, it gives you this sort of this feeling that you are completely free and that you are. It's sort of like being in control and out of control all at the same time. It's like the freest feeling that you'll ever have, and I think as performers, that's something that you really thrive off. And I think what you can really run off is the energy of a crowd. And I think playing huge events like Bloodstock, where there's so many people who are so passionate about the same thing, all there to enjoy the same thing, I think the energy that can sort of that can feed and that can grow from that just makes for an absolutely killer performance. And that, we're no different to many other bands in that respect, in that you really do sort of thrive off that. So I think from our performance at Bloodstock, it's going to be just sort of balls to the wall energy. I mean, we will give this absolutely everything that we have got. Blood, sweat, tears. My last breath will be going into that performance. You will have to carry me off. So I think for me, it's about that vibe of everybody being there to enjoy and to share that passion for music and live bands. And that's something that we're incredibly grateful and extremely excited to be a part of, definitely.
Excellent. Good. Well, that sounds really good. Look forward to having you at Bloodstock. I also do Bloodstock TV interviews as well, so we'll maybe grab you for one of them as well. They're like video interviews that we do, with all the gazebo and the sofas and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we'll try and grab a few of you New Blood bands as well over the weekend as well. So make sure you make the maximise your press opportunities as well while you're there, of course.
Oh, definitely. I'll make sure I pull my face together, because I was just really pleased. Tonight was the phone interview, because I look like, well, I can't swear on the radio, but I don't look my best. So I was just grateful that it was a phone interview and nothing more.
That's why I'm on the radio. I got a face for radio. That's why I'm doing it. So that's all good.
But I promise I will try harder for the TV interview.
Marvellous. Okay, right. Well, cheers for talking to us, Cass. And we're going to finish off with some of your music now. So if you can introduce that for us, and we'll see you at Bloodstock.
Fabulous. Thank you very, very much. And this one's called We Are the Lost.
One day
Okay, next up on Bloodstock Radio, we're talking to the next of our Metal to the Masses winners, and up in North Wales, it was the guys from Scars of Remembrance. How you doing, guys?
Good, thanks. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so you are going to be playing at Bloodstock Festival in just a few weeks. So how's that sitting at the moment? Is it sunk in yet? Are you starting to get excited, nervous? Where are we at the moment?
Always nervous.
Yeah, it's not sunk in properly yet, because probably one of our biggest gigs we're ever going to play. So until we're there and we see the stage and we see the people out there, I don't think it's really going to kick in till then, to be fair. But we're really, really excited for it. I mean, preparing now at the moment to make sure we nail our set for it and give everyone a good show, really. So
yeah, the thing to remember about it, and the thing that a lot of bands don't always grasp, is because it is such a big show, people just sort of see it as being, and because the Metal to the Masses can be such a long road, that a lot of people see it as being, well, that's it, we're playing Bloodstock. But from our point of view, it's a springboard for you guys. So this is the starting point for you. This is for you to really hit a big audience and to get your name out there. So anything that you can do to make your set memorable, to make people know what time you're going to be on at the New Blood stage and stuff like that, anything like that is going to help. Make sure that you get press packs, use your day in the press area and stuff like that, and make sure that you get yourselves out there. You've got to really maximise what you've got.
Pretty much what we've just started doing now. We've got a load of merch together.
Just getting bits and pieces ready, trying to decide how we can push ourselves, how we can promote ourselves. It's something we've never really had to do before, so it's a massive thing. We're not expecting it to get this far, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into this, and you've got to do it. You need to work out how to do it and what to do.
With only having half an hour on stage, and I know the time is quite strict, we're just making sure that everything that we do is starting on time and just nailing our songs so everyone gets a good show. You know what I mean? We don't want to be messing about doing this, that and the other. So it's literally on and give everyone a solid half an hour of good quality live music.
Yeah, well, they are a very, even though it's one of the, it's the third stage effectively at Bloodstock, the crew there are absolutely top notch, and everyone's always praising them and going on about them, and it's one of the number of bands that I've interviewed where they're just like, so yeah, I put my gear down and I turned around and it's like all set up for me. I've never had that happen before in my life, so things like that happen, and it's just literally, they are just, you'll get treated like rock stars, but yes, make sure that you've got your half hour, because obviously there's a very tight schedule to run to.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So to tell us a little bit about the band then, Scars of Remembrance, what type of music do you play, how many of you are there, and how long have you been going for, and things like that?
Been going for a while now. It's been off and on since about 2012. I think we started initially doing something with it. Just a few of us knocking around. We'd had a few other bands and had a break and just thought we'd get together and just do something again. Nothing serious. And then it's kind of grown and grown from there. And this last 12 months, it's really hit a new level and shocked us all really about what's happened.
Yeah, cool. So what motivated you to go into the Metal to the Masses? Is it something that you've done before, or was it the first time that you've done it? And what were the reasons for entering it? Was it purely about Bloodstock, or was it just to get gigs under your belt? Because lots of different reasons that people get involved in it.
We heard about it last year, and a few of our mates went into it, and we were a bit sceptical about it, thinking, no, we wouldn't win anything like that. I think I went to one of the heats last year and watched it, and it wasn't a bad setup, to be fair, but I thought, no, there's too many good bands in it for us. So then this year, we know Fozzy well, and he told us just to enter it, and we thought, well, it's a good gig to get onto, just network and get people liking our page. So we did it, and we were overwhelmed by it, to be fair, about how well it was set up, and how well we went down, to be honest with you, because I think we won the people's vote, and really surprised us, considering we didn't take anyone with us.
Especially the one in Colwyn Bay, which is far away. We just didn't have any people there. We weren't expecting any votes, and then we won that people's vote. They've all been very encouraging, haven't they?
A lot of positive feedback, which was great to hear on our end, and it's just great to see people enjoying your music.
Yeah, that's good to hear that that was your original. You were a little bit sceptical and you came into it, because, as I say, a lot of bands, if you do sort of look at that and just think, it's all about getting to Bloodstock, then you might be disappointed. You might be like, right, didn't get through, we're not going to bother with that again. But I think what a majority of bands find is exactly what you found, is that once you get into it, you realise that, well, actually, these are good gigs, and we're doing a bit of networking, we're finding other bands that we can do other gigs with, and we're, you're up in your game. We don't really like the competitive element of it, but it does make bands, push themselves and become a little bit more professional. And as you say, the preparation that you're doing now is just going to stand you in good stead for the future, isn't it?
It didn't really feel like a competition, or like bands were really nice with each other, weren't they?
Yeah,
encouraging
definitely.
each other, saying, hope you do well. And I was really good to see.
It's not like the normal gigs you get where it's a band watching a band and then they'll be outside while the next band are on. Everyone stood and watched each other while they were all trying their best. It was great.
No, that's good to hear, and I say that I do find that across. I mean, I know it is a bit of a sort of cliche. You sort of think, well, you work for Bloodstock, you would say that, but we do see that, and it is, that's the way that I've always seen it. I was involved in Metal to the Masses as a punter for a long time before I got involved in Bloodstock, the actual festival. And that's what I always saw as well as a punter, and that you saw that the camaraderie between the bands, and you'll get bands that will actually come to the festival and make sure that they come and see their region set, because the thing you've also got to remember is that there's a sort of tribal aspect to it as well. You are representing the North Wales area now, and each area we've got 31 different areas, and people should be like, oh, we've got our local guys that are representing our scene, so it's a big thing, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, a few of the bands we played with on the day were like, let us know when you're on and we'll be straight down there to watch you. So it was...
Well, it happened at the semi-final, didn't it? The band we played with in the semi-final came to watch us in the final.
I love that aspect of it. I really do. I think it's great. And the thing that you'll find now as well is that now that you are Metal to the Masses winners, as I say, you've got that sort of springboard of playing at the festival. But it does also mean that when the others, when the Metal to the Masses starts again next year, Fozzy will want you back on as a guest headliner, and other regions are now, we're doing lots of sort of almost like an exchange student sort of things where other people, where they've got their heats, or some regions just do it when they get to the semi-finals or the finals, they want Metal to the Masses winners to come and show their show the competitors that year what you've got to be to get on. So that's a good thing as well.
Yeah, I think we had that at each of our heats this year, didn't we? We had past winners.
Yeah, nice to do it next year to get out and about and meet some more new.
Open some new doors for us, to be fair. So we're going to grab it with both hands and see where it takes us. It's going good at the moment.
Yeah, excellent. Well, it sounds like from some of the comments that you've made then that and none of you have been to Bloodstock before, is that right?
No, we haven't. I don't know why. It's just one of those things we've just never done it, and then it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's always on the radar. Just never been. So this is going to be, 2 new experiences for us, and we can't wait to get there and to just go and watch the rest of the bands.
I've got a friend who goes every year, and he raves on about it. He thinks it's the best festival going.
Well, he'll agree. What you'll find is that once you we came up with a concept when I was doing the Bloodstock TV interviews of it's called Bloodstock Time. So basically, when you leave site on the Monday, that's 361, and then it's 360, 359, 358, and it's our year. Once you've been to Bloodstock, and once it's got you, that's the only place you want to be. And we've got our countdown on the website to show how many days it is now, and people are literally just cannot wait to get back there, and it's just their spiritual home and that lot. And I think you guys will find it like that as well, to be honest.
I hope so.
Wait.
Well, it's my wife's birthday, my son's birthday in August, so every time it comes round, I find it quite hard to say, I need to go to another festival, and she's like, well, you're not going because it's my birthday, so it's a good excuse this year because I'm playing it. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. So, we look forward to welcoming you to Bloodstock. As I say, try and get your names out there, and Fozzy and Beanie will help you with that. They'll be able to advise you on stuff like that, and even put you in touch with the likes of Cadence Noir that played last year, the winners from last year and stuff like that. If you need any tips or hints of that lot, we've also got our Bloodstock Metal to the Masses official Facebook group as well, so make sure that you're in that, and you can, all the bands join in there and have conversations about things and stuff. So, just get involved in it all.
Brilliant, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll hear a bit of your music now to finish this off. So if one of you guys can introduce this next song for us, and we'll see you at Bloodstock.
Nice one. So I think we sort of sound a little bit like a Partway Drive, sort of Kill Switch Engage sort of type band, metalcore band. So for anyone out there that wants to listen to a metalcore band when we're on, we got a song called Shattered Wings, and we'll have it out now.
By the fans, for the fans. Bloodstock Radio.